Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Face to Face Time with the Schnackys. Featuring tonight's guest hosts, Travis Piper and Dave Chandler.
Well, welcome back to night 4 of this year's show. This is Dave Chandler and Travis Piper, again to bring you our second night's presentation of this fun series of night shows. We would rather be with you in person on stage. However, times are what they are. Hopefully next year we can all be together again. If you missed our first show, Travis and I are two of the more senior members of the Monsignor Schnacky Community Players. So collectively, we have more fond memories to pass on to you. So take it away, Dad.
I'm not sure about Dad, but anyway. Just for those of you that might know my face, I should explain that it's a little bit crooked temporarily due to some recent surgery. All is good, getting better every day. It's just that my smile is only half recovered, but all is good. As Dave said, as we mentioned in our first show, the Monsignor Schnacky Community Players have over 700 participants in our over 39 years, and we've had over 51,000 attendees who have come to see our shows. They've tapped their feet, they've laughed, they've thrown popcorn, watched our intentional and sometimes unintentional on-stage antics. And Dave's and my goal for tonight, for what we're calling Act 1, is to share with you some more wonderful memories about Monsignor Schnacky and how he made such an impression on the early members of our group, and how he is loved and respected today, even by those members of the players who did not have the good fortune to know him personally. So now we're going to roll a sequence of 6 short clips, and we'll tell you about each one of them.
This first clip is 1983 Arsenic and Old Lace. It was our second show that year. The Monsignor's part, small part, was a big part of the show.
We didn't have to write it in like we had with the melodrama, because it was just, there was this part for an older man that comes to look for a room to rent in the boarding house. Worked out great for him and us.
Sorry, wrong number. May I see the room?
Oh, why don't you sit down first and let's get acquainted?
He could develop any character he wanted, and his timing was always impeccable.
Haven't got a home.
No wonder he wanted a theater group, right, Jake?
Yeah. You're right.
I think I want to hear this story. Well, you're going to.
This next clip is 1985 Pick a Number Darling, and we had to write in a small part for Monsignor and Sister Alice. This was his last small part on our stage. He died January 22nd, 1986, after his beloved Heidi, the German Shepherd, died on the 21st. He played a window washer, he and Sister Alice. This takes place on the 30th floor of a penthouse apartment.
It's a long way down. Always the priest.
Listen to the audience roar.
You would swear there's a pane of glass in there, the way he moved that, I loved it. So cute. So we just stopped the action, we inserted that little scene, and then the action continued. It was so clever.
About 7 years ago.
This was 1987, the first show after Monsignor's passing.
Well,
And Kathy dedicates this to Monsignor.
You look around you, we've really grown from that first year. Things have changed within our group, and the good Lord found it in his infinite wisdom to pass us from one set of loving hands to another. On behalf of myself and the cast and crew of tonight's show, we would like to thank Father Ladis, Deacon John, and Sister Alice for their loving support for our whole show.
We've had wonderful support from the parish staff, the priest, and ever since. Now this show from 2006, the premise of the show was there were villains, but there really never was a hero during the show. But here in this final monologue, we find out who the real hero is.
Evil villains like you are incapable of comprehending
Who, what, where, when?
why.
And sometimes how.
From the very beginning, we have had a hero who has been watching over for us some 25 years ago now. He's represented by that star that has always shined over our heads. That's Monsignor Schnackys' star, and he has been there to make sure that we have always had good triumph over evil.
That star is lit when we first put up the truss, and it stays lit 24/7 till we strike the set.
Good point.
Given the opportunity to talk about someone who was near
Now,
and dear
in
to
church,
you,
we actually, the theater group put together this little tribute to Monsignor that Dick Schoen did a beautiful job of reading from the pulpit about Monsignor and what he meant to everyone in the parish. He was truly a beloved man.
with disbelief that our beloved friend, mentor, and pastor,
This was on the 20th anniversary of
who
Monsignor's
was our pastor
passing.
for 16 years, had left us to join his multitude of friends in God's heaven.
Okay. All right. So now, and the reason that this clip is in here, this was, well, from our 10-year show, and the theme of What a Night. This was the show that Monsignor was in the first year, and then we repeated this show 10 years later. Well, we didn't have a build up the What a Night so much. The reason I wanted to show that was when we had the cast party for our very first show, Kathy and I had it down at our house in Bristol. And when Monsignor arrived, he proudly brought in a sign that said, "What a Night," that he had obviously made by hand with stencils.
This next section, we're going to talk about some righteous rituals. 15 minutes before each night's show, the cast and crew met in a central location to sing, pray, and build energy. The prayer circle ends with Dick Schoen asking, "Who makes this show go?" And he goes around in the circle, pointing at each and every individual person and leads a chant, "You, you, you."
This is after we've done some singing to get our voices warmed up. It's like a train pulling out of the station. It goes faster and faster and faster.
It's extremely difficult to have to put on a show and maintain your character, maintain your job without having this enthusiastic moment. That's what makes us a family.
Yeah. Nobody gets left out. "Let's go get 'em," he says.
Okay, this next sequence of photos will show you what happens after the circle. After the circle, Dick meets every cast member at the base of the stairs to wish them a good show. Everybody gets a handshake or a hug. I always bring my St. Genesius medal, which hangs backstage for the simple rub for good luck before we go on stage. I think you've learned more about the St. Genesius medal in an earlier production on our website, and there it is with the red arrow. Food in the kitchen, the grazing table. For years, opening night was blessed with Paula Olney's fish chowder. This chowder could cure death itself, as well as any broken legs. We eat a lot of food. Not everybody will open up about their own personal rituals before going on stage for the first time in each performance, but we all have them. It may be as simple as saying a prayer, or speaking to St. Genesius, or even to Monsignor. It may be a moment of quiet meditation to clear your mind, or it may be jumping up and down to control your energy. Whatever it is, we all have our rituals. And here's a picture of Mr. Hurley meditating before going on stage. The marquee serves many purposes. It hides the majority of our stage lights, as well as providing a frame for our production, complete with the masks of tragedy and comedy. But it also contains a large poster of the name of the show. We also use a marquee to celebrate our MSCP family members who have passed on. Each one is represented by a star. And the list grew again this year.
Yeah. And that wraps up Act One. So now we'll turn it back to Andrea for some words from our sponsors. And Patrick. Somebody's muted.
Can you hear us?
I can now.
hear you now.
Hey,
Yeah,
kids.
great.
Hey,
so
Trev.
we are here. How are you doing? Thank you guys. That was a great glimpse of the behind the scenes. That was very cool. So, Patrick, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good tonight. You know, the show's been going well. We had a practice session last night, Don and I, and can't wait to pull that off on Saturday. It ought to be a lot of fun, so we hope to see you around then. And what are we giving away stuff tonight too? Again?
We are giving away stuff. This is going to be very exciting. So
This is
tonight
crazy.
we have Parkside Pizza. Hi, Travis and
Yep.
Dave.
Yeah.
And
Surprise.
you get a large pizza with 2 toppings, a dozen chicken wings, and a 2-liter bottle of pop or soda, depending on what you like. And it's very exciting. But you know what? We're going to talk about that after we hear from our sponsors. How's that, Patrick?
Good. Let's do it.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pandimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pandimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.
Hi, honey, I'm home. Here's the mail.
What's this, Jane sees? A very large insurance bill from Large Lizard Insurance Company. Jane's angry and shouts at Dick about the high bill. Dick is angry and shouts at Jane about the high bill. Jane suddenly gets an idea. Why not call the good people at J.D. Chapman Agency? They'll help us out. Jane talks on the phone while Dick listens. Jane's happy with what she hears. The good people at J.D. Chapman Agency can save them money and give them better coverage. Dick is happy too. The good people at J.D. Chapman Agency can take care of everything. Why don't you be like Dick and Jane and contact J.D. Chapman Agency at 315-986-4062. Or if you're like Dick, he prefers using the interweb and types in jdchapmaninc.com. Dick and Jane live happily ever after.
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard. The Minden Honey Falls Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
All right.
Hey.
Let's hear it for our
Da-da-da-da.
sponsor.
Even our commercials are great. I mean, that's how good we are. I mean, you know.
I mean, seriously. Like, hopefully,
Yeah.
like, the two people, like Bruce's son and his girlfriend, they actually join us
Yeah.
next year because they have talent. They have promise. They really
They
do.
do. Then we'll suck. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So let's talk about like our giveaway so that people can get started entering. Okay. So Patrick, what do
Yes.
they do? I'm going to give you a quiz. Okay, because this is what I'm going to do.
All right.
Okay. What do they do
Okay.
on YouTube? If they're on YouTube, what do they do?
Oh, I know, Mrs. B. I know.
Yeah. Go.
They have to comment and share in the live feed. And if you're on, let's see, Zoom, I guess they have some sort of forum chat room kind of thing. They can do the same thing.
They
Yes.
do. And you know what your phrase is tonight, everybody on Zoom? Are you ready? All right.
The phrase that pays, what is it?
I want pizza. In the comment section, I want pizza. Okay.
Yep.
Then if you're on YouTube, subscribe to our channel and make a comment. If you're on Facebook, like, comment and share our live feed. So that'd be great. I know a lot of people are busy tonight. It would be great to have everybody see it. And you know, if you do, and our giveaway is only good if you're watching. So there's, you know, the odds are pretty good right now. I'm just saying. So if you're watching and you want to comment, go for it. And you can get that wonderful family meal. Okay. And I'm so glad, you know, Patrick, I am so glad that Travis and Dave talked about the rituals before. Like, you know, because that just is so cool because we are a family. We do pray for each other. We do take care of each other. We laugh with each other. We cry with each other. We have fun. We share meals. And if you are looking to join a group that makes you feel important, go to mscptheater.org. Go there, click contact us, give us your information, and we'll contact you. And, you know, we're going to be back to 2022. We're going to be back on stage. I cannot handle not seeing our audience. My audience is not my audience. It's our audience, totally not mine. So this is the thing, right, Patrick? The audience is the best part.
Yes, the audience is the best part. And, you know, it's Thursday night, and Thursday nights we traditionally have just our seniors in. They come in from the homes. They come in from their own home, and we give them a free show. They love it. They have a great time. They eat all the food they're not supposed to eat, drink stuff they're not supposed to drink, and they have a wonderful time. They're one of our best audiences for sure. So we love seeing them, guys.
And I know some of you guys are watching tonight, and we love you, and we miss you. Last thing, if you're feeling the spirit move you and you'd like to donate to our cause, we have a lot to kind of fix up and upgrade to give you the quality theater experience to keep upgrading. So if you're feeling it in your heart, you know, really the ticket price is only like $12. So like if you want to just give $12, great. Awesome. If you don't really, you know, if you're not feeling it and you just want to send us good vibes and prayers, we'll take them. We're sending them back to you right now. But we just are so blessed that you're here. Thank you so much. And remember, if you're watching now, please do your sign up for the giveaway. If it only happens when it's live. So if you do miss one of the shows, you could definitely go back and watch the videos later.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. And if you want to join us on stage, you can. You don't have to be somebody that's been experienced or anything. If you're brand new to it, we'd love to have you. It doesn't matter. If you want to be on stage or do something off stage, great. Show up. We'd love to have you.
Absolutely. So we're going to bring it back to Travis and Dave. We'll see you in a little bit.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. So now we're going to move into what we're calling act. And Dave and I would like to share with you some more fun memories about melodramas. things like what makes a good melodrama good and what we've done with many of our shows to make them even better. We're going to be talking about melodrama characters and casting and some of what we are calling our fabulous funnies. Take it away, Dave.
As we mentioned in our first show, melodramas allow you to use a lot of shtick, such as snow in the face, even kicking a bucket when you die. So let's take a look at some of our melodrama highlights over our first 39 years. We've had a lot of openers for the show, but Dick Schoen is the best.
Like Johnny Carson in the group.
One of our first men in drag.
Good afternoon, Mr. Murgatroyd. Keep bothering you? Oh, good afternoon, Widow Lovelace.
Gosh, Dave, that young lady looks something like you.
Yes, it's they say I look like my grandmother. Complete with the fleas.
Thank you just the same. I thought I'd have my tea out here. It's such a smiling day. Won't you join me?
Always a lady.
Nothing would give me greater pleasure.
And if you notice the villain, he had
from this vial of her tea and
He's figuring out how he can poison the old lady to get her out of the way.
no, I've been occupied with my painting all afternoon. She said she was going down to the livery stable. Say, I do wish she wouldn't spend so much time down there. She comes home with such an air. But say, she's a gal and in love with Adam O'Cart, a fine, handsome lad. He is too. Mrs.
That
Lovelace,
was a fun production.
I have a confession to make. A confession? Sakes, wait till I get your key. How many lumps? 7. 1.
This is a cute routine here.
3. 4. How many months you been boarding with us now, Mr. Murgatroyd? 2. 2. 3. 4. 5.
The audience catches on quick.
How much longer you planning on staying? Just 1. 1. 2. 3. 4.
How sweet it is.
And 1 next 7.
You hear the audience counting.
I hope it's sweet enough. There's cream in the pitcher. There's only one thing sweeter, Mrs. Lovelace. What's that? Your daughter Nellie. I love her. Now, I realize that I'm older than she and wiser in the ways of the world, but well, I am tired of these town-bred beauties with their faded cheeks and their artificial bloom. Think what this fresh, innocent girl would make of me. No, say no more.
I love to listen to the audiences. They do enjoy our melodramas, but going back through time to rewatch these for ourselves has been such a hoot. I've loved every one of them.
No, 'tis false. Nellie's true to Adam. Not so. Why, she has written me letters. Letters? Letters declaring her love. Show me one. Curses, I have no letters.
Curses!
Yeah, there's a freeze, so the villain can chat with the audience.
Romantic interest in me.
Yeah, and get a little popcorn in the meantime.
I will show it to you later. One may easily be forged. Sir, I do not like this at all. I am a poor, ignorant woman, but I am not so ignorant that I don't know who I am and what you are. Explain yourself, madam. Only this, sir. I have given you the advantage of my home, and you have taken advantage of my little Nellie. And now, sir, I must ask you to make other living arrangements. Your presence here is no longer wanted. There, good mother. Perhaps we've gotten ourselves a little overexcited. Won't you drink your tea?
Slips of poison in.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
The shock of this news has made me faint. You are a man of the world, Mr.
This is what makes a melodrama, when the audience can participate.
It's all the anticipation.
My little Nellie is like some timid wildflower growing sheltered in the woods. Transplanted. Why, she would feed and die. It will take effect within the hour.
All right. So
here
now
comes
time passes.
Some more of that shit.
My decision is irrevocable. I will not leave my happy home. Nellie!
It's Frank Russell as the hero.
I die content.
And that's, there goes the bucket and the chicken falls out.
And of course, you have to kick the bucket when you die, right? Okay.
Curses! Oil!
Yes. Now this is a cute scene, and this all came about because our heroine that showed up for tryouts is just shy of 6 feet. And the fellow we ended up casting as our hero, Tom Kaza, is quite a bit less than 6 feet. And he had more fun milking that part for all it was worth. Notice his sword dragging on the ground.
Lieutenant Pete Fogg, U.S.
And all he had to do was come in and introduce himself. But of course, he's got to use the sword. But it's stuck. So it takes a village. So now we have the sword. Perfect. Except the sword is rather sharp.
He worked all this out himself.
Yeah,
for his
he was in
character.
practicing and practicing. It was so wonderful. Salutes with a handkerchief wrapped around his hand.
Is he not everything a girl could wish for?
This is such a twist because the hero is normally taller than the heroine.
Right.
He has privileges.
So we have another, still have a problem here, which we will.
Congress hasn't screwed that up too.
So I found some material along the road that was very lightweight that we were able to make a couple of books out of. And then Patrick built a custom book holder, which you'll see in a moment. Notice again, Tom trying to get his sword back in the sheath.
He's too short.
So we put down the book. All right, so now, okay, but he's still not quite tall enough.
But your daughter and I became acquainted on the bumpy road from Tucson. Do I have your permission to call upon her? I assure you my intentions are honorable.
If there's anything I hate, it's a goody-goody wearing a uniform.
Recognize that villain?
Okay.
That's Travis's son.
Yeah, that's right, my baby. Now we're going to move on to the next part of Act 2, and this is, we're calling it Historic Happenings. So the first clip we're going to see here, this was our very first heroine, my wife Kathy, and with her very first audience reaction, she's just come on stage doing all of these heroine classic moves, and you can see the audience is right in there with her. Okay. This, we did, our second year, we did a children's melodrama. Just wanted to have a little fun with you to let you see that we grow our own. This, the young man that was the villain here was actually in some of our shows 10, 15 years later. Dave?
This is Larry Brassey and Mike Turner, two of our prime movers in the early years. If you wanted anything built, creatively, these two could do it. And Mike did our lights for a number of years.
That's right.
This is a quick clip, just a taste of our audiences. These are old videos, so sometimes they're a little hard to see. Only in a melodrama can you say this.
Strangest of all creations, how can man ever hope to understand you?
And get that type of reaction.
Silly pumpkin! Nice work, Ida. You managed well. And the girl.
These are co-villains, Travis Piper and Maureen McHugh.
But you must help me further. You must convince her that she is to leave with me tonight.
This next clip is from our comedy again, where we did the window washing skit, just to show you we were kind of young once upon a time. Kathy and me, and I believe Dick Schoen is the next one coming out.
Right.
There we go.
That was one of the shows we had a working elevator.
Yeah.
How to
Come back
how
to
to
that.
create a show.
Yep. This is
yours, Travis.
we actually worked a routine into one of our shows about us creating a show, just to give the audience an idea about, you sit around the table, throw out a bunch of ideas, kick them around, and some of them work, some of them don't. And so this was part of the show. This was actually done in the back of the hall. We had activity taking place on the side of the hall as well up as at the front of the hall. It was a crazy experiment.
You guys, look, if we get good enough at this, maybe we can take this show on Broadway, or maybe off Broadway.
Off 490 is more like it.
Yeah, off 490 would be about it.
Can we please do away with all those dumb announcements at the beginning of the show? You know what I mean. Somebody gets up there and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, there is no smoking in the theater, only outside the building."
And this one too, this one. And the restrooms are located just past the bar or downstairs.
Okay, don't forget to include the one about the fire.
Larry wants us to make sure people know they can escape from either end of the hall. Over there in the corner or here where they came in.
Well, I'm making a note. We're going to stick them all in the program.
This next clip is from one of our musical numbers, Big Spender, and kind of illustrates the point that here you've got two married couples are performing out front, and we've had a lot of that over the years. You know, both husband and wife get involved. Wouldn't be the first time. The wife wants to go try out, brings her husband along for moral support, and he ends up getting the lead in the show. That's happened a few times. But this is Sam and Paula only, and me and Kathy, and just having a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun doing musical numbers over the years. Yeah, that's right.
You never know what talent you have until you get in with a group like this.
That's a very good point, Dave.
Don't ever be afraid to get involved with our group.
Good point. This was at our 35th year show, and this is a tribute to the group, to the audience, to everybody for bearing with us for 35 years.
He really had a vision in mind that none of us could have foreseen. It had nothing to do with artistic expression, nothing to do with putting on a play, nothing to do with even raising funds for the church. To him, it was all about community, about bringing people together, like all of us here tonight. It was about love. And Monsignor and all of our castmates that have gone before us, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here, to work with you for another 35 years, and we look forward to seeing you again.
And that concludes our Act 2. So now we're going to take a little breather and turn it back to Andrea and Patrick. Some more words from our sponsors.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
my
my
gosh.
goodness. You know, this is why we
Oh
don't put
my
her in
gosh.
the technical part of the show.
Oh
She's
my
just the
gosh.
director and
Literally,
do the technical stuff. My goodness.
I am not good with technology. My students know that every day. It's embarrassing, really, but I try. I try my best.
I do what I can.
How you doing? Are you loving like all of these memories? I love them. I think my favorite was the big spender with Paula and Sam and Travis and Kathy. That's like so cute. Love it, love it, love it.
There's so many memories. It's hard to even find, to say these are the best because there are so many. Like over, 40 years, 40 shows or so. My goodness. That's a lot
Every
of
show
stuff,
was the
man.
best show. Yep. Every show
Every
was the
show
best
is the
show.
best show.
Every show is the best show. And being a part of this group is like an honor and just a wonderful thing. And we've been kind of in a situation almost for a year where we're not allowed to be together and we have restrictions and stuff. And it warms my heart to see this and know that we're going to be doing this in the future very soon. And I am so excited about that. And again,
we
we always
wanted to
talk
do
about
something this year to
right.
keep
We
it
always talk
going.
about our audience.
Yeah. We wanted to let them know we're still around. We're still being creative. We're trying to keep the juices flowing, and we did. We did some new stuff this year as well, and I think we're going to show some of that tonight. I think they have some.
We're going to show two. We're going to show two of some new
great.
acts, and that'll be great. And again, we're always learning. We're always improving. And so if you're finding it in your heart to give us some love, and donate, you can go to mscptheater.org. Hey, look at those handsome men. Aren't they so cute? Send your donations to mscptheater.org. And
you just
click on
teed that
donate.
one right up for them.
Yeah, and it's that like Dave and Travis said, that's not really what we're about, but we definitely would use it to our advantage and to your advantage as the audience. And just if you can't, that's fine. Send us some prayers and love, and that's cool. We are here for you always. Also, if you like what you see and you want to be a part of it next year, go to mscptheater.org and make it happen. Contact us, put your information in, and we will get to you. And can't wait for you to be part of our family. You can be part of it. When I joined this, Patrick, this group, I was doing it because I've always wanted to do it. I knew Monsignor Schnacky. I was 12 when I moved to Mendon, and he was like the nicest guy ever. And I only stayed there for a year, but because my family moved to Albany. But I remember wanting to be part of this group, and I finally was in 2006, 2007, and it was a blessing in my life and in my family's life. My son has grown up with this group. He's got a lot of aunts and uncles and cousins, so it's
Similar
great.
kind of experience for me. I used to watch the shows, and then somebody said, "Hey, why don't you go try out?" Sure, I'll go try out.
Yeah.
Thought I'd get a little part. Got the lead. Awesome. But I think that was kind of a one-off. But I've been with them since '92, so I stayed for a reason, folks. So come on board and get your toe into the water. It's very warm water, and you'll have a good time. Passes these darks, crazy months that we have during the winter. So and Andrea's doing her own version of hand jive, I think, over there. Hi, Andrea.
So hi. So Parkside Pizza giveaway. You get a large pizza, 2-topping, dozen wings, and a 2-liter bottle of pop or soda, depending on what you say it is. And we are just, if you're in Zoom, say I want pizza, so you can be in it. YouTube, subscribe to the channel, comment in the comments. Facebook, like, comment, and share. And I think we're ready
Can I
to
do
go
it?
back to, yeah,
Can I win the
I guess.
pizza?
No,
I can win the pizza? Oh.
no, no pizza for you. No pizza. All right.
Back to Dave and Travis.
All right. Thanks, guys. To jump into Act 3 now, Kathy and I have been going to the Shaw Festival at Niagara-on-the-Lake for many years. And it seems like about 10 years they were doing a massive fundraiser because they wanted to upgrade their already wonderful facilities. Well, a couple of years after all the enhancements were made, we signed up for a behind-the-scenes tour and were very surprised to find that literally every capability that their facility now had, we had been enjoying here at St. Catherine's for all of our years. So Dave and I are now going to share with you some of the enhancements that we've made to the Schnacky facility, and then show you some of our fun behind-the-scenes special effects that we've created for our shows over the years. So Dave, why don't you tell us about some of the hall modifications?
In the early shows, we talked about how we built our stage and how it has served us so well over the years. Other components we created, we call a truss or our marquee. The marquee allows us to place the lights directly in front of the stage, which provides much better lighting design and effective use. Up until a couple of years ago, our lighting was all your typical high-power stage floodlights that used a lot of power. And it was a very hot environment on stage for the cast members, and it was hot on stage. It was not unusual to lose a little weight during our productions.
That's for sure. We used to strap up a heavy-duty wiring harness every year that we would plug all of the lights into. Well, now we've permanently mounted those up into the ceiling itself, which greatly simplifies setup, and it looks a lot better for our audience. Now, the church replaced the old globe lights that you see here with new flush-mounted LED lights. This also simplifies our setup because we don't have to take down some of the globes that were in our way, and it saves the church electric costs, and it upgrades the look of the facility.
However, today we employ the use of much more state-of-the-art LED stage lights, which enhance our capabilities of controlling each light individually for intensity and use of color. For last year's show, we used 12 LED stage lights, 8 incandescent lights, and all were individually controlled using a computer program developed by a longtime member of our group. We also used a manually controlled spotlight for highlighting the music and other activities on stage. These lights are now more than just lights on stage, but actually they become part of the cast. Now this lights is much better and much more comfortable for the cast members on stage. Less heat. A good example of the quality of the lighting we used. Last year's production, Way Out West in a Dress. This is the opening number for Way Out West. There's a spotlight. What it's hard to see is the stage is in a very light blue cast before the lights come up.
Now, when the action cuts back to me and Dave in our studio, look carefully at the background. You'll notice it looks a little familiar.
One half the stage is a saloon, the other half the stage is a salon. We divided these two buildings, these two shops, with an invisible wall. And we use that by dimming the lights from one side to the other. There's the example of that wall disappearing. And the
There you
saloon
go.
lights come up when that wall disappears.
We built curtains all the way around the perimeter.
Popcorn.
Just a little popcorn. Need
We
shovels
were
to
so
get the
proud of the
popcorn
lighting
cleaned
design this year.
up. Another creation of our own that really lights up the hall is the Showtime sign, which is actually outside the hall and at the entrance to the community center. And we put this up every year. We figured out how to put it up in the actual window sections above. And this is the way it looks when we're all plugged in and turned on. And lots of people tell us, gosh, it's like walking into a Broadway production.
You've seen some of our creations and how we prepared for a production. But here is one for how we clean up afterwards. As you might expect, there's a lot of popcorn on the floor after the show ends. We used to take all the tablecloths off the tables, stack the chairs on the tables, and sweep up the popcorn under the tables. The year that Joe Zimmerman brought his leaf blower and he showed up, what a welcome addition that was indeed.
Yes, sir. Makes it so much easier. So now we're going to progress into more of our special effects that we've created for individual shows over the years. One of Dave's and my personal favorites was laying railroad tracks on stage and having a locomotive save the day by flattening the villain. This sequence of 3 clips shows our set before the railroad comes through, and then how the crew lays the track during intermission, and finally after the tracks are down. So pay particular attention to the nondescript cloud on the back wall. So let's look at our first clip we're calling No Tracks. So this is the early part of the show, and the railroad hasn't come through yet, but that's the whole storyline. The villain wants to buy the deed to the ranch, so he will own it because the railroad will pay more once they start coming through with the railroad tracks. A nice bucolic scene with the valley just disappears off into the distance.
Boy, there she goes, a sighing again. Lord knows the sun don't shine long for this girl.
So this is the intermission break, and we have the crew come out and install the railroad tracks on the stage. And then at the back of the stage, there's an extra section that literally is just leaned against the wall that gives the audience the impression of the tracks fading off into the distance. Take a look at that. You feel like it's been there forever. The train just goes and goes and goes.
You can see that cloud floating in the back.
Yeah. So now for the piece de resistance, how to make a locomotive appear and flatten the villain. Well, if you paid attention to that cloud, it appears to be hanging in front of the back wall, and it was. It was covering Dave's wife's vegetable steamer that became the iris for our locomotive's headlight. And how?
Well, this is a picture of the vegetable steamer that was just like the one that I borrowed from my wife without her knowledge. These are car headlights, and we used a regular old-style headlight, 2-beam headlight, and the bulb was toggled from high to low. The headlight, there's a picture of it. It's the low beam and the high beam. The steamer, I cut the bottom out of the steamer. and that's where the headlight fit. And from backstage, a string was pulled to open up the iris and allow for the light to get brighter.
So it looks like the train is bouncing down the tracks as the light goes up and down, besides the light itself getting bigger and bigger.
That's right. And
okay,
I still
so now that you know how go ahead.
I still remember my wife asking me, have you seen that vegetable steamer around?
So anyway, so now that you know how we did it, let's see how it played for our audience. So here's the whole sequence of the villain's got his foot stuck in the tracks. The hero is tied down, but they're going to get him freed. It just builds and builds and builds. So she frees the villain. Or, I'm sorry, she frees the hero. And here comes the train.
We're so used to seeing Frank. And the light, the cloud moves. And there's
so the light goes out, the cloud lifts up, the light gets bigger and bigger as the iris opens. And then there's a lot of sound effects and a big screen. And the audience loved it.
And now the cloud's back.
Yeah.
Except old Duckman. No, he's twice the man he used to be.
Typical Dick Schoen line. Twice the man he used to be, because he got cut in half.
You're talking about families on stage together. The hero is Frank Russell, his wife, Dee Russell, and their daughter.
Very true. Yep.
Okay, our next special effect involves putting a trap door in the stage. The year was 2002, and the show was Clowns, Browns, and Upside Down Frowns, where our villain needed to jump into a manhole and make his escape into the New York sewer system. Here's a cute sequence showing some melodrama shtick and the ultimate explosion beneath the trapdoor.
Well, since you said please, no! Can't have I want you old buzzard. Once I get you to sign over your property to me, I'll be rid of you.
Why would I want to sign over my property to you?
To free your daughter from her bonds. See how she struggles. See how she struggles!
Classic melodrama line.
I can stand to see her.
What do you mean she didn't struggle?
What would you have me do?
I want you to sign this. While you go shopping, I took the liberty of helping myself to the deed to the ranch. Your signature here will sign over the whole block to me, and I shall be rich.
Dick's running out of hands to hold things with.
Right here. You hold this.
I love this. Need your hand.
Listen to the audience.
Wonderful. Mr. Kane. I think this calls for a celebration.
It's just such a great opportunity to just get involved with something, forget your cares, and go have some fun and watch stupid stuff. And of course, he's going to light his cigar before he jumps into the sewer system, which of course has all kinds of strange, explosive gases in it, no doubt.
Now what?
So the fuse it.
First of all, I tie up a few loose ends, starting with you two. I'll lock you both in the house, and then I will take a long puff of my cigar and stow it into the house where it will ignite the kerosene that I have so liberally spent throughout the house, and you two shall go up like two Roman candles. And once the property has burned to the ground, the railroad company will find the site much more desirable because they won't have to demolish it.
He's coming! The officer! He's coming!
The police are coming! It's time for me to make my escape! I wouldn't go down there with that lit...
And another villain bites the dust.
We next used the trapdoor in 2007 for a wonderful shorter named Dorf, with full credit to Tim Conway.
Yes, that's right. I am going to show you folks tonight some of the basic exercises you can
Gave
do.
the audience many laughs. If you liked it, come back tomorrow night to see the whole thing.
Yeah. We just wanted to show you the effect of standing in a trapdoor hole.
10 years later, in our USO to Go show, the trapdoor made possible an escape behind a magician's curtain.
Then in 2007, in 2007, we pulled out all the stops for our 25th year show that we called Gala-Palooza. And our ultimate special effects included a revolving platform and an old-style elevator. Watch. So here is the revolving platform. This is the first time the audience this happened. Used to be the hotel lobby, and now all the action transfers to a room inside the hotel, so we disguise the lobby and make it look like the inside room. A lot of fun. A lot of hard work. Now this next clip, same revolving platform that you just saw, and Tom sings Mr. Cellophane, stands up on the platform. But what's different now is the platform rotates, but the wall doesn't, and the audience flipped. So he's walking in place because the floor is rotating underneath him.
That's a wonderful show.
Yeah. And then the whole thing rotates with the wall to take him off stage. It was so cool.
This next clip shows how the elevator doors operate. We had to call Otis Elevator to find out how to do it, and we made it happen.
I've seen Snow White in this hotel, but I don't get up much.
Now, they're coming out the elevator door now.
Come out, Snow White! Don't be afraid, big guy.
We had done Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs a few years earlier, and the audience got such a kick out of them that we brought them back in this show. Now, as they back into the elevator, watch how the door operates. If you've seen old elevators, you know exactly what we're talking about. But it's not an easy thing to figure out how to do that.
That's right. But the frosting on the cake was for the elevator with a needle above the door. The door would close, an operator would press the floor number on a laptop computer mounted on the wall, and the needle would go to that floor. See the needle above the door
Watch the
moving?
needle. Yeah.
Hereafter. You know what I'm here after.
Just an aside, Mickey McHugh was playing Tyrone at that point because the night before, Tom Kaza played that role, fell off the bench, which is part of the gag, and cracked a rib. And Mickey took over the part, told Coley, and that was his gig for the rest of the show. The show must go on, whatever it takes. And we did it.
That's right.
Okay, now this next clip, this is a strong contender in my book for one of the greatest effects. This is the spinning knife-throwing wheel that took our heroine for a death-defying ride on the wheel as the villain threw knife at her. Amazing! And one of our members figured out how to make this wheel. And it looks like the villain is actually throwing a knife every time, but he doesn't. It actually folds up and goes under his arm. But as the guys are turning the wheel, they pull a lever on the back of the wheel that releases a knife that comes from the back of the wheel forward. So it looks like a knife is actually, stuck into the outside of the board. Too much fun. Very safe. Kind of a challenge for our heroine. What a good sport.
Sport you guys.
I have to do what? There we go, and the hero comes out to save the day. Cute.
This is not the Great Magnifico. It's an imposter.
Cute.
And what could be more special than a talking head of lettuce in a refrigerator? Tomorrow night, you will see the entire clip. This shows how the effect was created. We gutted a refrigerator and built a place for her to sit. That was Bonnie Toomey.
So anyway, I hope Dave and I have given you a few smiles, put a few smiles on your face, maybe even a few chuckles, as you've shared with us some of our highlights over the first 39 years of our Schnacky productions. It has been a hoot indeed. So now we'll go back to our studios, right, Patrick, Andrea?
Here we are.
Absolutely. All right. So now we have two things to show. But before, we want to congratulate our winner. And her name is Carol Marchand. Thank you so much. We're going to have Margot contact you, and you can give us your address, and we can send you the gift certificate. So great job. Thank you,
What?
Carol, for watching. Yay, Carol.
Yay.
And don't forget, we have more giveaways, so come back. We have more to give away every night. So our first one, Patrick, is I think that, a one that we have everybody come from different, backgrounds, and we did this one. It's Hey Big Spender, but we dedicated it to Sean Connery, right?
Right, because we lost Sean Connery there a few months ago. And our own Maria Halfman wanted to give him a little salute. So she came up with Hey Big Spender, and we put together this video, which was done in a COVID-friendly manner and with a green screen when we did all this stuff this year. So I just want to point that out. But so let's take a look at Maria saluting Sean Connery. Roll it.
Bond. James Bond.
The minute you walked in the joint, I could see you were a man of distinction, a real big spender, good looking, so refined. Say, wouldn't you like to know what's going on in my mind? So let me get right to the point. I don't pop my cork for every guy I see. Hey, big spender, spend a little time with me. Wouldn't you like to have fun, fun, fun? How's about a few laughs, laughs? I can show you a good time. Let me show you a good time. The minute you walked in the joint, I could see you were a man of distinction, a real big spender, good looking, so refined. Say, would you like to know what's going on in my mind? So let me get right to the point. I don't pop my cork for every guy I see. Hey, big spender. Hey, big spender. Hey, big spender. Spend a little time with me.
Yeah.
Great job, Maria.
Nice job.
She really spread her wings this year with her singing. She did what, 3 or 4 skits, I think.
She did. Yeah, she
Pretty
did.
good.
She did a
Yeah.
lot, and it's
Good
great
job,
because
man.
we have,
Yeah.
you know, she did a great job, and she, you know, we so appreciate her talent, as everyone's talent. And this next lady is my buddy for 5 o'clock mass at St. Catherine's. We sang together for a long time, and unfortunately, we're not able to do it now because of the situation we're in. But Jean is a great addition to our group, and just imagine she's on Carnegie Hall performing opera.
Dicesti, oh bocca bocca bella, oh bocca bocca bella, quel soave carrossi, si che fa tutto il mio piacer, pur dicesti, oh bocca bocca bella, oh bocca bella, quel soave caro, sì, sì, quel soave caro, sì, che fa tutto il mio piacere, mio piacere, il mio piacer, quel soave caro, sì, sì, che fa tutto il mio piacer, il mio piacer.
Not easy to
Whoa,
do.
holy
Not easy
cow.
to do. Yeah.
No, I couldn't do it.
So it's, you know, Jean's a doctor. She takes care of. She works at U of R, and like Travis said, this is an opportunity for you to do something that you normally wouldn't do. And, Jean's a great example of that. She's saving lives and being Superwoman and doing what she does on stage. And we just honor her so much. So we're very fortunate to have the people that we have.
Yes, we appreciate her time. And she did 3 or 4 things too this time.
Yep.
So thank you, Jean. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We have, let's see, we gave away stuff. We invited
Yep.
people to our website.
Yep.
We showed a lot of cool clips.
Yep.
I think we're wrapping it up for tonight, aren't we? Or did I miss anything?
No, we are. And we're going to go back to Dave and Travis so they can wrap up the show, guys. Thanks for coming.
Take it away.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming. Dave, I would say this has been a hoot indeed. And remember, in our hearts, you'll always be number one.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. 2 can be as bad as 1. It's the loneliest number since the number 1. No is the saddest experience you'll ever know. Yes, it's the saddest experience you'll ever know. 'Cause 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. 1 is the loneliest number, oh, worse than 2. It's just no good anymore since you went away. Now I spend my time just making rhymes of yesterday. What is the loneliest number? 1 is the loneliest number. 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. 1 is the loneliest. 1 is the loneliest. 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. It's just no good anymore since you went away.